You're listening to the Faeries and Folklore podcast by Ronel. I'm dark fantasy author Ronel Janse van Vuuren. With over a decade of digging around in dusty folklore books, researching creatures of imagination that ignited my curiosity, I'm here to share the folklore in a nutshell and how I reimagined it for my writing in An Origin of the Fae. This is the Faeries and Folklore podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Ronel Janse van Vuuren. You can just call me Ronel. In today's episode, we're continuing our exploration of the Fae realm. This episode is brought to you by my Dark Court Sisters book series, available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. 3 sisters, 3 destinies, 3 ways to destroy the world. Go to ronelthemythmaker.com/Dark Court Sisters series for more. You can now support my time in producing the podcast, researching, writing, and everything else involved by buying me a coffee. This can be a once-off thing, or you can buy me coffee again in the future at your discretion. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Ronel to support me. We're continuing our exploration of the Dark Fae. Today's fairy, Rumpelstiltskin, folklore in a nutshell by Ronel. The tale of Rumpelstiltskin and others who make deals to help mortals are quite widespread in folklore. From little old women in Scotland like Wuppity who heal animals only to want the woman's child as payment, to Tom Tit Tot, who helps a hapless young woman turn flax into gold, again wanting the woman's child as payment or the woman, depending on the variant. Each time knowing the creature's true name save the child and the woman. Which makes one wonder why people make deals with strange creatures to start with. Of course, in Rumpelstiltskin, the girl's father boasts to the king and everyone else that his daughter can spin straw into gold. The girl can either die or make a deal with the creature who shows up to help her. The first few times, she has something to exchange for the creature's services, a necklace, etc. She then makes the deal to give the creature her firstborn child, which makes it child trafficking. Of course, she also agrees to marry the man who threatens to behead her, so perhaps it's about only having bad choices. Each time, though, this helping hand becomes enraged when the woman saves herself and the child from its malicious intent. And now for my interpretation of the Fae in An Origin of the Fae, Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin is the name of one of many fairy gangs who deal in child trafficking. Horrible as it is, they facilitate changelings, tithes that need the blood of babes, and other things even the most hard-hearted of fae steer clear of. They enjoy making deals with hapless mortals who should know better, but ignore the teachings of their elders to keep steel on them and steer clear of strange creatures. They are tricksters of the worst kind. This gang, as most of their kind, are made up of outcasts, goblins too pretty, redcaps too tall, etc. One of their favorite haunts is a crossroads, as many mortals know that they can make a deal with the devil in such a place. They are rarely caught, and their victims cannot get out of their deal by merely knowing the gang's name, as each deal has its own fine print. As a little bonus, let's look at Rumpelstiltskin, translated to Afrikaans. Rumpelstiltskin. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Faeries and Folklore podcast, and that you've learned something new about fairy. Remember that you can get a transcript of this episode in the description. If you're new to the podcast, why not go and grab your free copy of Unseen, the second book in the fairy tale series, on my website, ronelthemythmaker.com. Loads of folklore, magic, and danger awaits. Take care.